What's going on, people? Gotta go back to the Fredliner. So I bought some of the parts, but the wrong parts. I have a story to tell you guys. The people who think when you bring in a truck to dealership, to the professional repair shop, everything can be fixed. So last week, a buddy of mine, he owns a 579 Peterbilt with a PACCAR engine and Ultra Shift Ethan Fuller or Road Range, whatever you want to call it, the transmission in. So that truck is about a week ago start acting up, like the transmission would just put in neutral and you cannot put it in gear, whatever you do. And then you kind of mess around with back and forth and actually would go in the gear and it will drive fine for a little bit and then start having issues again. So he brought it to the Peterbilt dealership, which is professional people. They know what the hell they doing. Everything should be legit. They said, okay, we need to do update on the ECM and then change your shift points and you should be golden. We don't see any problems. So they did that, charged him obviously the money. He left, took the truck home. Then the driver got in, literally made it 50 miles down the road, and then voila, we have back to square one, the problem. So he calls me, he's like, dude, grab your computer, see if you can figure it out, put it back in gear. So we switched the trucks and then this one can go to Peterbilt and he will take another truck. Whatever I did, I couldn't get it unlocked. It would just stick in neutral and it won't shift. So he brought it to the dealer. That the tow truck actually came in, brought it to the dealer, and they called him and says, well, your battery seems like it's bad. Okay, let's replace the battery. So they replaced the battery. They called him back. It's like, nope, it's not your battery. Maybe it's one of the sensors. So they replaced the sensor, whatever they did to it. Then they called him. It's like, we think it's your clutch. Okay, the truck was there a week ago. How the hell is the clutch all of a sudden went bad? But they convinced him on it to do a clutch. So since they wanted it like $5,000 or something like that. So he calls me. He's like, dude, you want to mess with this thing? Put a clutch in it? I says, okay, that's fine. Bring it in. So he brought a truck to me. I spun the motor, turned the motor over, found the indicator for the clutch, and the clutch says like 52% left over of the life because it's solo clutch, self-adjustable. So I called him and says, dude, I don't think it's your clutch. I think it's something else going on. So as much as automatic knowledge I have, and I called the Road Range, which is Ethan Technical Support. I've been on the phone for, 3 hours with him and stuff like that. And I came to the conclusion it's the clutch actuator, which is electric motor, would pull the clutch out prior for it to put in gear and then engages the clutch back in and you start going down the road. So I took that part off, which is a really big square. I don't know why I didn't record the video on it. And I took the cover from a motherboard, which is a bunch of wires goes in there, and I jumped the computer part of it, the motherboard, and I just started, putting and placing wires and trying to make that thing work. And the only thing it would do is clicking. So I called him. I says, dude, go get this actuator. So we did find one in Omaha. He brought it in. Technical support told me, is like, most likely you're gonna have to have a Road Range computer to adopt a new part, to train the new part to do whatever it's supposed to do. But possibly if you put it in right way and you clock it, it should work. So I ended up putting it in best as I could. Boom, everything that solves the problem. Truck shifts absolutely perfect. Clutch works just completely fine. My point is, dealer, which is professional, once in a while will convince you to do something doesn't need to be replaced, so they will create themselves some more work. It's like going to the doctor. They always tell you, go get a second opinion. If your left nut is hurt, maybe it's not your nut. It's maybe your butt, something else hurts. So always get a second opinion. I know it's hard with the trucks, but in this point in time, this is like perfect example with me. It's not a made up story. He would have replaced the clutch, and then the dealer would call him and tell him, is like, dude, it's not a clutch. It's something else. We don't know what it is. The problem is they have a kid working, probably just graduated from a technical school of diesel mechanics, and he has a lack of experience. And then who's going to pay for that? The customer who owns the truck. So Once again, dealers once in a while cannot fix the problem. And I'm not bragging about because I fixed or anything like that. I just want to share information so somebody else doesn't run into it. Quite often, not always, you better have to bring it to somebody like a second, like not a dealer, like a private shop, and you will have a lot better experience. So what I got. Thanks for watching.